CCNA Security Real World Labs, ASA Firewalls. When I decided to record a series CCNA Security Real World Labs, I really wanted to include like a small course inside dedicated to ASA Firewalls. Why? Well, because you can't really find anything online. Not a lot of companies decided to go for training like that, and I know a lot of people, people are interested in ASA firewalls. CCNA Security, Cisco added ASAs a few years ago, and that was a great thing. It's still really basics, right? How to assign an IP address and implement an SSL VPN portal. My goal was to show you some more advanced features as well. They're not difficult, but they're really great, and they show what ASAs can really do. That's why I decided to include failover, right? Two-factor authentication, things like that. On the other hand, I appreciate that maybe you joined my training, you bought the labs because you wanted to learn about ASAs from scratch, right? You're not really interested in CCNA security, you want to learn about ASAs. And that's what I want to cover in this lecture, and probably we'll have 2 lectures dedicated to that. We'll talk about ASAs in general. If you know everything about hardware, software, how it runs, what ASDM is, yeah, feel free to skip. It is designed for people who start their career with ASA firewalls. I will talk about hardware, software, things that you need to know if you want to start with ASA firewalls. Let's go to, I prepared a few pictures for you. That is ASA 5505. That's the guy here, right? This is a small office, home office firewall with a built-in switch. That's the cheapest ASA you can get, 5505. There are 8 ports, and what is really great, Cisco decided to add 2 PoE ports. It means you can connect an IP phone, an access point, a PoE device. Port number 7 and 6, they are PoE. There is a slot for a module that is end of life now. That was for IPS. Not a popular solution in ASA's 5505s because it was really expensive. ASAs can run 2 licenses, it's base and security plus 5505, and it can double your price. I encourage you to go online and compare the features. With the base license, Cisco decided to limit a lot of interesting features. You cannot do failover, dual ISPs, you cannot create a trunk route between your VLANs. They limited a lot of features. That is ASA 5505. Of course, we have a console port and 2 USB ports. It's a small box designed for a small office, home office environment. 5505, and that's what I recommend for your lab as well, and if you want to create a network at home. Below we can see the next generation ASAs, right? ASAs, people have been waiting for the next generation ASAs for years. Cisco, they had to do that to match all other companies, really. They were really behind when you think about things like throughput, interfaces, features. They were really behind. It was really crazy. You had to go for the highest ASA to match a small office home office device made by somebody else. It was really crazy, not good for Cisco either. That's why they introduced 5500X. I encourage you to visit that website here. Here. Everybody says it's next generation firewalls, right? The first ASAs were next generation firewalls as well, right? A very popular term that you can find everywhere. What I want to show you is, it's a really nice table. It shows what these boxes can do. ASA 5505, that's 150 megabits per second SPI throughput. 5510 was replaced by 5512X, and please note what Cisco upgraded here. That there is no magic behind, it's just a better CPU, memory, and some tweaks in the way that packets and firewall solutions work. Yep. IPS throughput is not impressive, however, you don't need a module. For the old ASAs, a module was required. It was really expensive, not something that everybody could buy. Now you need a license only. Still really expensive. Okay, connections per second. Please note they improved everything. Of course, we will have gigabit ports, 6 gigabit ports. I have a picture of that firewall. I think 5515. Not sure why this is not available. Still, you can put a pair of ASAs, but okay. And I found a picture of an ASA 5515X. We've got 6 gigabit ports. Let me move it a little. Yeah. Console port, management port, USB, a slot for additional modules, like if you want to add a module with fiber optic port, things like that, and a fixed power supply unit. That's what you can find from the hardware's point of view. I encourage you to go online, see what's available. You can ask, okay, how much do I have to pay for an ASA like that? It is not cheap. It's not cheap. 5512X with an IPS module, it is more than £2,000. In this video we talked about ASA firewalls. Hardware. I showed you what ASAs are available. I encourage you to go online, see how much you have to pay for a firewall, compare licenses that are available. It is really important to have a very good idea what Cisco decided to prepare for you. Thank you very much.